When I hear appreciation for a series, it's frequently because the show raised the bar for a particular genre or media. He's frequently established a new benchmark for what the entity they are a part of will need to do to be relevant. Many stories are passed on or glossed over due to this reason, so I'm here today to do my expected due diligence, and to explain to you today that you should watch a surprisingly good series, Chivalry of a Failed Knight. Even though the plot of the series is more generic than most, it has caught my attention given the genre it belongs to. Let's watch the show's opening scene to better understand what I mean. In a really nice opening shot, our main two characters introduced to us, giving us a brief synopsis of the two, while the shot begins with Ikki, the main heroine. Stella is voiced over on television in this scene. Then it cuts to Ikki training and explaining not only his abilities and philosophy, but also the setting's abilities and philosophy. A typical anime trope of accidentally discovering the main heroine undressed follows. While we're later to learn that the school does permit men and women to share a dormitory, I will concede that this is merely a justification for using this trope. Ikki tells Stella to wait and lifts up his shirt to make amends before she yells or does anything impulsive. Now this is a scene that convinced me to watch the show in full rather than giving it only half of my attention. Now the fact that this plays with our expectations of what we would typically see in a series like this, where a massive fight would break out, not only caught me off guard, we also get something else as a result, which I appreciate. Now we actually see an adult in this circumstance. Yes, rather than fighting, they told a staff member what was going on. So we get them working out what happened, with a nice scene of Ikki responding to what Stella says, asking him to make amends by offering up his life for her. Because of his response being no and how he phrased it, Stella is about to burn the building. Ikki disarms her by saying that she looks hot. After this, they decide on a battle. The winner will decide the rules of the room. When Stella asks why Ikki is so confident in thinking he will win, he replies he's been training a lot. We get a glimpse of Stella's childhood before leading up to the fight. When Stella walks down the hall, her peers talk about how easy her life must be, but most importantly that it must be easy to win with all of her natural power. When we see the flashback, we are shown Stella's early childhood on how she wants to control her power. Then it cuts back to Stella, who now wants to prove she is more than just her power. We now move on to the fight, which is now a battle to prove something to those around them and each other. The fight is really good, but the most important part here is how both of them communicate in the fight. With Stella putting Ikki on the defensive, he says,
"You're pretty gifted at running away."
I'm observing you. The sword technique that you've been using, I see it. Not just your talent, your hard work too.
We then get a great shot where Stella, for a split second, is overlaid onto Ikki. This helps understand that Ikki is copying Stella's fighting style. So now we understand that his power is to copy the abilities of others and use it against them. He explains that he was never taught anything, and with that he says this.
When you see through the branches and leaves to the root, you'll understand the truth, and you can overcome!
Stella tries to get the upper hand by a move that does not fit her style, but due to this, Ikki was able to change the course of the battle. As it seems Ikki is about to win, Stella uses her powers so the sword would not hit her. While she would lose the battle in terms of pride, she now acknowledges Ikki and now plans on winning the fight. However, we find out that Ikki has an ace. Once he understands his opponent, he can then unleash all of his power at once. But this comes at a cost. He cannot use it for another 24 hours. When dealing the finishing blow to Stella, she wakes up in hospital, where she's greeted by the teacher. When seeing the teacher, she asks why Ikki is not a higher rank like she is. We find out the rank is only based on magical ability alone, so because of this he needs to make up for his lack of magical ability with his skill. This is where Stella starts to have feelings for Ikki. While there is flirting in the dialogue, she still does not fully know her feelings yet. However, she does know she has admiration and respect for him. With that, we end off with a fist bump, showing a newfound friendship. So with the story out of the way, what do I think of the story as a whole, and what do I think of the characters? I think the introduction of this series with this episode is really good. It's nicely paced and, in all honesty, it sets the tone really well compared to a lot of other animes out there. The characters are really good when it comes to bouncing off of one another and how they would act. This is a teen series after all, and they act how I think teens would act. I do want to give some praise though when it comes to a lot of the teachers. We're actually seeing teachers in this episode and later on in the series. I don't like it when anime has this entire thing where it's like more of a teen person running the entire school rather than an actual adult. But no, these do actually play into the entire story as a whole and aren't just there for someone just to be there. But I'm going to leave it there when it comes to praises. I'm going to tackle this more as an entire series at a later point in time. But if you like the series, and if you liked my content, why not hopefully subscribe and you get to see more of it. But until I tackle more of the subject, it's been me for this video. Happy Valentine's Day everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye everyone.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.